Good day, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have with us Zia Babar. He moved to the US in 2000 and afterwards moved to Canada in 2005. And since then, he has done many things which he will talk to us about. So, without having me introduce him any further, so Zia, if you could get started by telling us a little bit about yourself first.
Yeah, thanks, Saad. It's lovely meeting you again and talking to everyone. I did my bachelor's from Karachi from NED University, and immediately after I moved to the Silicon Valley in California. I worked there at a Silicon Valley startup for 5 years. It was an amazing experience. I did my MS along with that, and moved to Toronto in 2005, and I've been here more or less since then. And while staying at Toronto, I got an MBA. I finished my PhD as well, and I've been working in the tech sector for the past 20 years.
Interesting. So, from 2000 2005 onwards, how has your journey been here in Canada? If you can kind of reflect a little bit on that.
It was pretty good. I landed an opportunity even before I moved to Toronto. So while I was in the US, I found a position, and that's what made me move to Toronto a little quicker and allowed me to settle over here much better. I had lots of family over here, so that was a great help. Having family, my sisters live over here, so that was very easy for me to come and adjust. And yeah, Toronto is an amazing place. It has a very vibrant tech sector. About 15, 16 years ago, there were not that many tech companies, but in the last 5, 7 years, we've seen an explosion of tech companies. It's a really happening place right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I always struggle. A lot of people move from Canada to the US to the Silicon Valley. You did the opposite. So for a moment, you kind of take some time to wrap your head around that. So, but then I guess the main driver was your family to move to Canada.
Yeah, I was pretty well settled in the US, but after 5 years, I was starting to get lonely. I was like, you know what? I have more family over here, more immediate family, I should say. And I love Toronto. I love coming to Canada and spending time over here. So I thought it might be a good idea just to settle here permanently.
Okay, and Zia, if you could talk a little bit about how you've done your PhD, you recently completed that. A little bit about that. What was the subject area and what was your area of research?
Yeah, so when I was in the Silicon Valley, there was a very strong focus on original research, and original contribution as well. And I had the chance of working with a number of researchers, and I was always captivated by the amazing, things that they were able to do, the what kind of research that they were doing, filing patents and coming up with original inventions. So I got the research bug. I didn't grow up to be one of those individuals who wanted to go and do their PhD. But after spending time with such amazing individuals, I thought this is something that I would like to do. I would like to become a research scholar. I would like to contribute in some body of knowledge. And yeah, it came a bit late. I started my PhD in my mid 30s. It took me a while because I had family as well that I needed to give time to. But it was one of the most fulfilling experiences. I finished my PhD from University of Toronto a little while back, and that was one of the most fulfilling experiences that I've had.
Interesting. So yeah, in terms of the whole data science and the whole, a lot of immigrants when they move to Canada, a lot of them pursue data science. I know a whole bunch of people who have been doing that. Uh, where do you see the industry headed, especially here in Toronto and otherwise as well?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to be in this space for the last 20 years. I was work first in distributed systems. I was in data-driven event processing. When I moved to Canada, I worked at Teradata, where I was working alongside data scientists, primarily on the data engineering side, on the machine learning framework side. So I've been in this space for a very long time. And the good thing about data science, or more broadly, data-driven systems, or data centric systems is that there are many different areas one can work in. So data scientist is just one of the roles in this space. You can become a data engineer, you can become a data scientist, you could even become a product analyst, but focusing mostly on data driven decision making. So this is a very happening place, and people who would want to come and find their area are welcome to do so, just because there are many opportunities out there.
And what if somebody was to make a transition into the field? What is the most basic entry level requirements to enter? And like you mentioned, everybody they cannot directly enter to be a data scientist. You can be a data engineer. What is the base requirements?
Yeah, so one thing that I would advise people who are looking to get into this field, don't abandon the work that you've done. So I see a mistake that many immigrants doing is they come in and they have considerable experience, 5, 10, 15 years of experience, and they feel the need to totally imagine themselves and learn a new skill, and then they try to get into that area. That can work in some cases, but often they're putting themselves at a disadvantage because they've acquired a wealth of experience. Now they're learning a new skill, and then they're competing with people who probably just graduated from school and are have acquired the same skill, and it becomes very difficult for them to land that opportunity. What my advice to people who want to move into this area is find commonalities between things that they've done in their previous careers and things that they aspire to do in data science or data engineering. And once you identify those commonalities, those are going to be your strengths going in. So if someone is from the oil and gas sector, they could find the situations where data analysis, data science, data engineering platforms are used in that industry and leverage their background from that industry while they've acquired these new technical skills. And then those opportunities are going to be far more financially lucrative and valuable for that individual.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. One last question, Zia. You've been actively involved in the community and you do some really nice meetups. Tell us a little bit about that, and what is the major driver of doing that?
Yeah, so it's something that I've benefited throughout my career. I had amazing mentors who gave me a lot of advice, who supported me on my journey as I went from strength to strength. So it's at a certain stage you feel that you want to give back to the community. So that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to give back to the community, paying it back based on the support that I have received. So I run a couple of meetup groups. I run one in Waterloo and one in Toronto, where we have a number of sessions. Usually we used to have them on a monthly basis before the pandemic. And it was often a meet and greet situation. So we would have individuals from the industry coming and giving advice. We would often have recruiters coming in from the industry trying to, hire individuals. And then we would have these meet and greet sessions where people would network and meet each other. It was a very fulfilling exercise. I'm hoping that once the pandemic is over, we can get back into that mode again.
I hope that ends soon. Hopefully, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So, with that, thank you so much, Zia, for taking the time out today and doing this. And I hope folks who watch this will be able to benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.